Welcome to a CrossYoga Power Flow class with a focus on being creative and being free. One of my favorite topics. I think in our busy lives, we often are bound and, all these structures and all these things that we have to do. And then we forget that we are kids as well. And we have this creative, free side in us that needs to have an outlet as well. This is what we're going to do. Sweat and get strong. Standing is where we begin. If you feel like I need to start seated, you can do that as well. But if you're okay standing, let's begin. So ground your feet maybe a little bit wider than the hips so you don't feel like you're tripping or can't hold your balance. Mountain pose. Palms facing forward. Standing tall with this micro bend in your knees. And maybe you exhale. Sigh out. Notice if your breath is very up high, you want to deepen it a little bit. If you're good, you can sway gently from side to side. It won't be a huge movement, but just sway your hip. Maybe your head comes along. To me, nature, at least now it's springtime here in Denmark, that creativity and that freedom I see in nature really inspires me. And you might be inspired as well and feel like you're a tree standing here in the wind, moving, ready to move even more. Free yourselves from restrictions you might hold in your body, or beliefs and limitations that you might have in your mind system that, no, I can't do that, or that is too hard or too difficult. Be free. I believe we are created to be creative and free. Bring your arms out to the side for this big circle move. And bring your arms down again. You can use your knees as well. Inhale, kind of sweep your arms up. Exhale, find a chair pose variation. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale. And then you follow your own breath. So neither going super slow or super quick. Move your hip back so that your kneecap doesn't go way over your toes when you sit down. And next time you're standing in your mountain pose, bring your hands down, maybe shoulder height, and bend your elbows. You can even go a little bit wider with your legs. Keep your hip where it is. Don't move that, but move the core for a twist. Or the shoulders, it might feel like. But your chest will come to the side as well. You might inhale one side, exhale to the other side. So again, not super slow. You can use your Ujjayi breath in a power yoga class, that snoring exhale sound. And those of you who are used to doing Pilates may remember that in yoga we use our nose both for inhales and exhales. All right, let's get this more free. So maybe bring your arms down and move your hip. Kind of, your hands are just, or arms are just hanging loose from your shoulder joints. So just move them if your spine is okay. Wiggle your feet even further apart. You might not be standing on your mat, depending on how you position your mat compared to the screen, but maybe you want to go on the mat if you feel like you're on a slippery surface. Make your toes point out, and then again move a little bit down here. If you're really tight in your inner thighs there, you might go higher. And don't go super low to begin with. We still want to warm up. You might lift the toes on one foot. And your arms can do whatever they feel like. Creating some heat. So do you feel like you need to be creative and free? Standing still, move your arms up overhead. And then fold forward, navel in. And as you come down, maybe you reach the floor, you can bring your toes in towards each other so that the heels are the most farthest apart from each other. From here again, sway a little bit in a forward fold. Move your head, your neck. And then lift up halfway and walk your hands to what is the top end of your mat and step the other foot back. Plank on toes and knees. Move to down dog. Just one more plank to get the shoulders going. Take a breath in your plank. Gaze forward, pushing your fingers down, plucking the shoulder into the girdle. And then back to down dog. And let's do a vinyasa plank. Sweep to the top of your mat here with your shoulders on toes or knees. Lower down, elbows in. Maybe not all the way down with your chest. Lifting up with your chest. Keep the hands off the mat. Lowering down. Tricep push up. Keep your toes tucked. Down dog. Let's do that a few more times to really warm up. Move to plank. You might inhale. Exhale, slowly come down. Inhale, lift your chest. You might want to lift your legs as well. Exhale, hands just a little bit behind the shoulders. Inhale, plank. Taking your time. Exhale, down dog. 2 more times. Plank. Exhale. Lift. Inhale. Exhale. Tuck the toes. Plank. Try to keep your spine straight. Exhale back. 1 more time. Down. Lift. Exhale down. Plank. Inhale. Exhale down dog. And then let's be a little bit creative here. If you feel your wrists, you can shake them a little bit. You can jump, jump to the top of the mat, toes pointing out. So you find kind of variation of yoga squat, but coming into a hello posture. Bring your hands down. If your back is okay, jump back in your down dog. So hip up. Let's do that again. Jump forward, toes out. I have my heels on the mat. Hello. Hands down. Jump back, down dog. Do that a few times. So I'm purposely not jumping back into plank for now. 2 more times. Hope you feel your thighs by now. Beautiful. Next time you're in down dog, you can jump or walk your feet to the top of the mat. Shake your wrists and fall forward. Keep a little bit of a bend in your knees. Our warming up sequence. Yes, we're going to repeat that a few times. Come up into your mountain pose, standing as tall as possible. Catch your breath. Circle arms up overhead, palms together. And then you lift your knee and do a kind of a standing crunch if you possibly can keep your balance. Gaze on the floor, so lift up. From there, you take the right foot, you stay put on the mat, right foot from this crunch out to the side and open up your chest for what I call a star. Love that one. And then you bring your right foot back to the back of the mat. You might go for a variation of Warrior 3, maybe shooting up, maybe going more aligned with the floor. Depending on your balance, you might bring your fingers down when you lower down the right foot at the back on the mat. High lunge, arms up overhead. Twisting towards your left side, so towards the front leg. Bring your arms out, aligned with the floor. Core in. And this front hand is going to descend down on the inner side of the sole. So the right hand down on the inside of the sole of the left foot. A twist. Circle this arm around, either back or to the front. Step to the front, and that's our warming up sequence. Repeating, fall forward. Rising up, palms together, stand tall, left leg up. Crunch it in, you might bring your elbows a little bit closer towards each other. That star variation, left leg out to the side, bring the arms out. As much space as you have. Stand tall, bring the left foot back, keep balancing. Maybe you bring arms down by the side, maybe you go for airplane. Fingers on the floor, or see if you can just hold your balance as best as possible. High lunge. Twisting, turning towards your right side. Keep the spine tall towards the sky. So don't lean forward to begin with. And then this front hand descends down. Taking your time, navel in. Twisting. Let the hip grow a little bit heavy here. And circle your arms. Hands down, step to the front. Let's follow the breath. Inhale, stand up tall. Right leg up, exhale, crunching. Inhale, prepare that fallen star or that star. Leg out to the side and exhale. Balancing, right leg back. You might inhale. And exhale and see what you can find here. Lower down the right foot, inhale. Arms up overhead, exhale. Beautiful. Twisting, inhale. Front hand down, exhale, navel in. Sweep the arm around, inhale, just half circle. Exhale as you fold forward. Inhale, rise up. Left leg lifts, crunching, exhale. Star, left leg out, inhale. And stay tall, exhale. Engaging that thigh there at the outside of the hip. Balancing left leg back, inhale. And stay in, exhale. Inhale, prepare to land. the foot. High lunge, exhale. Twisting to your right, inhale. Lower the hand, exhale. Inhale, circle the arm. This time, let's do a vinyasa before we repeat. Inhale, find your plank. Exhale, slowly down. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, down dog. Repeating this small sequence, but adding just a little bit more creativity into it, so maybe we don't follow the breath. Jump or walk to the top. Fold forward. Come up into your high mountain, palms together. This time, heels off. So come up on the ball of the foot. Let's see how that goes. You might trip a little bit around. And don't worry, we won't be on our toes when we're gonna lift the right leg. Or if you want to, you can try, but I can't do it. So you can lower down, lift the right knee up. And again, if you want a little bit more, maybe extend the leg, see how that goes. And then that star variation, right leg out. And we'll stay here for just a sec. Try to lift yourself up so you stand super tall. And if you feel like being creative, you might bend and extend your right leg. And next time, bring it in. Bring the right foot back. If you feel like your hips are like, killing you, you might shake your legs. All right, find balance. Right foot back. Right hand to the front, left arm stays behind or at the back there. But then we swap, if you possibly can keep your balance. Right hand back, left arm to the front. Let's do that a few times. Gaze on the floor when you know what to do. Keep breathing. And then you can lower down the right foot. High lunge. Bring your arms up. Here, let's be creative in the sense that you get a little bit more distance here. So sometimes we need more space. So let's create that extra space in between our feet. So wiggle the front foot further front, maybe just an inch or centimeter, and the back foot further back, and see what happens if you sink down. Stay for 5. Go really low in that front leg. Hip in. 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring your hands in prayer. We're still gonna twist. Keep pushing this front knee out towards the pinky toe. Twist towards your left side. And let's breathe. And follow our breath here. Open up. Make space in between your hands. Inhale. And exhale. Come back. 2 more times. Inhale. Huge hug. And back. Last. And let's release. Right hand down on the floor. Activate the back leg so you don't hang in that leg. And let's be creative here as well. Bring this top arm underneath this knee if you can. Gaze to the front. If you feel like you need to shake your leg, you can do that. But if you can't, or if you want to move on, move your fingers away and do a kind of flying lizard. Hug the knee into the shoulder. If you're good, step back, plank. Low plank. Cobra up dog. Downward facing dog. And you might sigh out. Did you do something you didn't believe you could do? I hope you release some of those maybe limiting beliefs that you might have here. It doesn't have to be what I do, but just some variation of it. to the front again, jump or walk. Fold forward. High mountain. Palms together. Come up on your toes. Keep breathing. Lower down, bring your hands in, maybe your elbows comes in, left knee up, and if you extended that leg before, you might do that as well. Star, left leg out, high, take the spine towards the sky so you're not leaning completely out to the side. And then if you can balance, bend and stretch your left leg. A little bit extra for the hamstrings and a little bit extra challenge for the balance. All right, close the hip, left leg back again, shake things that you need to shake. Right leg stays on the floor and the right arm comes back. Left arm at the front. And then you try to, again, switch in a warrior tree. Warrior tree. That's a new posture. Warrior 3 variation. Come on. And then lower down the left foot. Ooh, high lunge. Arms up. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. More distance, more space. But remember, the further back you take the back foot, your hip most likely will join. So maybe you want to bend this back leg a little bit to keep the spine somewhat straight. Not straight, but not like super back bended. Breathe. See if you can feel the sense of bringing the inner thighs a little bit in, but without moving the actual thighs. Twisting, hands in prayer pose in front of your chest. Let's open up again. Inhale, open. Exhale, prayer pose. Move that right hip in. Inhale, arms out. Exhale. One more time. And back. Twisting, left hand down on the floor, or in a block for that matter, and right arm up. To do that flying lizard where I bring the arm underneath the knee, you really need to engage the strength in your muscles, in the thighs and everything. So if that's not really your thing, you can also just hover the hand over the thigh. You don't have to go under. But of course, if you want to, try to. But keep breathing. Smile. And then both hands down, back foot or front foot to the back. Inhale to plank. And listen up. Let's do 8 push-ups, tricep push-up. Come on your knees if it's too much. I really don't want you to kind of do this slide up and down, okay? Make sure you feel like this kind of a rod going down through your spine, so you keep everything nice and tight. Let's do it. Push up, down, and up. 8, 7, 6. You don't need to get your chest down. Maybe just half of what I do. 5, 4, 3. Breathe. 2 and 1. child's pose. Bring your arms down by your side. Some people believe that if you're religious or Christian, you have to follow all these rules. That takes your freedom and your creativity away. I don't see it that way. I see it that way, that we are born, created to be creative and free. But we restrict ourselves due to what then the faith calls sin, or egoism, jealousy, lack of self-confidence, and all these things that hinder our freedom. Get into your downward facing dog again. New small sequence, and then we'll call it the day. Down dog. Right leg up, bend the knee, open up your hip. And then we're gonna sweep the right leg underneath ourselves and out to the side. But we're gonna come back, so I stay on my tucked toe there. I'm not coming out on the side of the foot. Bring the leg up and back, down dog. Let's do that exhale. If your spine is not really good with this, maybe just don't do the twist here. Navel in. Let's do 4. Shoulder strength. 3, 2, 1. Right leg to the front. Warrior 2. Get yourself down again. Distance. Go low. Go low. And then be creative with your arms. So what do you feel like doing with your arms right now? I won't tell you. So what do you want to do? Do you want to stay? Or maybe you want to move. Dance with your arms. Draw circles. Swim. Staying just a few more breaths. Whatever you want to do with your arms. Awesome. And then skater. So bring your hands down. This front foot, I'll pivot a little bit towards the side, and the back foot, I'll turn a little bit up. So come down. You might come lower than me. I'm a little bit mindful of my knees. So find a seated skater or something like it. Stay for 3, 2, and 1. And then you can walk your hands to the front, step back, down dog. And take a breath or 2, notice your body. Everything okay? Let the finger pads really reach down in the mats. And let's do this sequence on the other side. Left leg, reach up, bend the knee. And let's bring it up to the side. And I exhale as I bring it up to the side. I'm getting my shoulders stacked over the wrists as I kick the leg out. 3, 2, and 1. Bring the knee up and left leg to the front. Warrior 2. And if you have your like you normal warrior 2, go for the unnormal. Go wider, right? At least if you have the energy by now. Sink lower. Trying to keep some sort of alignment though, in your legs at least. Micro bend the back leg, and then do what you want to do with your arms. I would not encourage you to be super fast. Just want to keep this pace of being slow. Maybe bring your arms somewhere where you feel like, that I have not done before in Warrior 2. All right, bring your hands down, and I know I'm backside to you, but we're still gonna do that skater thing, knees and toes in the same direction, and keep yourself up a little bit high. So you won't go too low, you won't sit on the ankle, because I want you to incorporate the strength of the thigh. Stay for 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then go into your wide stance, toes in, fall forward. Shake your head. A little bit of core exercise or ab exercise I like to finish us off with. Come down and take a seat. So I'll incorporate a little bit of different ways of moving. First, your boat pose. You most likely know that one, you know your variations. To do more, if you feel like it, you can bring the inside of the feet there together. So not the whole sole of the feet, just the big toe pad and the heel. And then you bring your knees out to the side, like this, seated. Bring them back, maybe knees together. And then you come down to sort of hovering boat. Come up again. Bring the knees out. Push that part of the feet together to engage the inner thighs. Knees together, come down, navel in. And do that a few times. Don't compromise on that tucking in the navel towards the spine. I know it's hard, but we really want to try that. 2 more. And I'm not cueing any specific breath here because it's too hard. Just breathe. And then take a seat. Maybe a windshield wiper your legs. And then we can do wheel or bridge or something like it. If you feel like doing a shoulder stand where you bring your feet up like this, maybe you take a look. You're welcome to do that one as well. So just again, do your thing. I think I'm gonna go for the wheel, but I just want also to help you get into a traditional bridge, which will be pushing through the heels, lift the hip up, and then wiggle your shoulders in. If you want to go for that full wheel, you come down again. Bring your hands by the ears. Fingers will point towards your toes, okay? And I don't have my arms super wide, and I don't drop my elbows out. If it helps you, you can do that. But maybe you come up on your head, stay there, or maybe lift all the way up. Some like their feet a little bit apart, toes pointing out. That is a little bit more helpful for the hip. Not a relaxing posture. And then come down again. Oh. And you can hug in your knees. Let's do the final ab exercise. So I like crossing my ankles and then reverse crunch. Bring the knees towards the right shoulder, then towards the left. Keep the lower part of the spine, the lumbar spine, in connection with the floor. If you go all the way down and let the feet reach the floor, maybe you don't. I'd rather have you focus on lifting like this than having your toes down on the floor. Take the chin slightly towards the chest. Let's do 3 more. And bring your feet down. Windshield wiper. I won't do a long sequence of stretching because I want this video to be primarily moving. You can bring both legs up towards the sky and wiggle your feet. If you want happy baby, you can do a happy baby. If you don't want that, you can just stay here maybe. Happy baby, bend your knees 90 degrees, feet like you're walking on the ceiling. Bring the arms up on the inside of the legs. Hold on your ankles, or better, if you can, the outer edge of the feet. Pull on your feet without bending the knees more. And if your elbows are on the inside of the knee, you might move the knees further apart with the elbows there. You might feel a stretch on the back of the thigh, on the inside of the thigh. Release. Bring your feet down. You can shake your legs. I like to have a stretch for the arm. I don't do that a whole lot. So again, just doing postures that maybe helps us get rid of some restrictions we can have. So I'm sorry, but you have to take a seat. If you're not into that, just stay down on the mat. Again, you do you. So sit, however you feel is good for you, and bring your fingers down. You can see that this part of the what's that called? I don't know. Put that down. But I bent my elbows a little bit because I like the stretch to come down here. If I extend my elbows like this, I don't feel as much. So I like to bend the elbows, so no hyper extending those beautiful elbows of yours. And I even have this part of my wrist lifted a little bit. I don't have to pull it all the way down. If you have any issues with your wrists from typing too much or using a mouse with a computer, these things are great. And also the next one, which is just a little bit fun. You'll have to come up on your knees and do what I call a gorilla. You might not feel it, but go with me, see what happens. You do fists, and you put that hairy side of the wrist down on the floor, and then bring your elbows out like this, okay? And then you can see why it's a gorilla. And then you rise up a little bit, rounding the shoulders, but keep the fist like this. And when I come up to this posture, I get a nice stretch on the hairy side of my arm. Not like a deep stretch like I sometimes feel in my hips or something like that, but I can still feel that it's stretching a little bit. And if you can't feel anything, don't worry. can let go. And maybe you take a seat or come down on the floor if you know that's what you need to do. Close your eyes. Breathe. Just 2 more minutes here. Maybe you open your palms. And maybe you think of places in your life where you can invite God or freedom and creativity to be more present. Maybe it's in your cooking. Maybe you restrict yourself too much as a parent, what you should or should not do, and sometimes you can take a break. It's your time to be creative and free. And I'll finish our time with a prayer, or you might call it an intention. God of creativity and freedom, will you create space in my life for what you have created me to be? May I live wholly and fully in your presence, letting go of limiting beliefs, jealousy, self-absorption, all these things that bind me, and receive your love and your grace. And what you have created me to be. May this love and this grace flow from my mat to people around in this world who needs that freedom and that creativity. Amen. So lovely to have you joining me today. I'm grateful that you followed. Blessings on your path, and thank you. If you want to subscribe, like, and push that notification bell if you want to keep being updated when I release new videos.